Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here. I am Sergey Sevantsyan, key opinion leader in the Russian community, and Emre Aksoy, key opinion leader, very good community manager of the BitCherry company. We are here with you, our audience. Yes, nice to meet you here. On this very interesting yes, communication place and the Emma session. You can ask us everything about, yes, for sure, about platform, about how it works. And for the beginning, I have to welcome our community manager, Emre Aksoy. Your turn. Just go ahead.
Thank you, Sergey. It's a pleasure to be here. So if I need to talk a bit about myself, so I'm the marketing manager for BitCherry here in the Turkish market. I was introduced to BitCherry in one of the conferences in Istanbul, the Blockchain Summit, and I was just interested in the tech, so we started working together. And also speaking about myself, my expertise in crypto, I've been investing in Bitcoin and like other altcoins since 2013. I was a Bitcoin maximalist, but now I feel like there's much better technologies out there that can do more stuff than Bitcoin. And not right now, I also have a YouTube channel in Turkey, which is the #1 crypto channel in my region. I also have a really active Telegram group, Twitter, and I also wrote a book about Bitcoin and blockchain tech. So I'm pretty much a thought leader in this space here in Turkey.
Okay, perfect. I'm wondered to welcome our participants, our today's participants. They are Vladimir Понимающий, Alexey Vesnin, Ilya Abramov. They are key leaders in Russian community as well with their questions. We have a little bit wait for that, but I want to start from the company. What is BitCherry about? And if you know why BitCherry, maybe it concerns somehow with Bitcoin and now it's BitCherry.
So yeah, I mean, BitCherry is a decentralized blockchain platform. It is actually aiming to solve the triangle problem of blockchain because after Bitcoin's proof of work mechanism, there was this dilemma where blockchain databases cannot be decentralized, secure, and fast at the same time. So everybody's trying to come up with a better solution to solve this problem. And after Vitalik Buterin, came up with the idea of Ethereum and decentralized computing and smart contracts, people just, started thinking really crazy stuff to do on the blockchain. So BitCherry aims to bring this tech into a much more scalable solution for the entire, commerce industry globally. So they're aiming to go after like e-commerce, energy industry, healthcare, so pretty much everything, and then optimize that by using blockchain technologies. And BitCherry has the true potential of achieving this because, as you know, the TPS, the transactions per second on Bitcoin is like 5 to 6, and it gets congested when like prices are going up. But with BitCherry came up with a new tech, and they can go up to as much as 100,000 transactions per second. So this allows you to pretty much do everything on the blockchain. So it's both encrypted, secure, decentralized. People can audit it and see what's happening in the network. And at the same time, it's as fast as like a local computer.
Okay, good. Do you have any idea why BitCherry calls BitCherry? Because I have that question asked from the people around which are new or newbie or new in BitCherry. They are wondering to know why Bit and why Cherry, how that name comes from.
I never thought about that. I mean, I never imagined where the name was coming from. I mean, Bit is coming from Bitcoin clearly. I mean, computer bits, but I don't know where the cherry part is coming.
Okay, I see. My another question is, how I see on the side, the first word coming up is it's the world's first commercial scalable blockchain infrastructure based on IPv8 technology. As I aware, now on Earth, over the globe, on the network, IPv6 is not implemented everywhere, really. We are working on IPv4 protocol at this moment. How it's happened that I see that BitCherry company is, yes, I'm clearly understand that it's really cutting edge technology, but how it works inside. Do you have any any recommendation, or what do you think about that? How it works?
I mean, as you mentioned, the internet is still running on IPv4, which was a good tech back in the late 80s and 90s. But today it's not enough for the global connected internet with the Internet of Things and everything, because we're running out of IP addresses. I mean, like, we don't have many IP addresses on the IPv4 to support all these smart devices, iPhones and everything. I mean, today even a regular guy at home has at least like 10 devices that connect to the internet. So they came up with IPv6 in order to solve this problem. But IPv6 hasn't picked up yet because it's not a new tech compared to IPv4. It's just like an extension of IPv4 to enable more IPs to be generated on the same protocol. IPv8, on the other side, is a much more future-proof technology. It has, peer-to-peer protocols. It's much more suitable to create decentralized, networks over the internet. And it's still not being utilized, but it's very cool to see that the BitCherry development team is actually implementing IPv8 technology into their network, because once we jump into IPv8, BitCherry isn't going to be obsolete like other coin projects.
Perfect. I see the raised hand from Alexei Vesnin. Alexei Vesnin, word goes to your side. Yes, ask the question.
Good day. So, Emre, as you're speaking about IPv8, and it's actually what my questions are about, because IPv6 is not just an extension for IPv4. It's a new step in technology. It's a new step in encapsulation and attributes that allowed a lot of extra technologies like IPsec be put inside the protocol. So IPv8, as I see its description, is just an SDN, software-defined network. It's not a big achievement like IPv6 over IPv4. So what the achievements are making you call it the next protocol? I mean IPv8, because it must be a very big step ahead to call it a new IP.
That's a good question, and I mean, when I mentioned that IPv6 is an extension of IPv4, I tried to simplify the inner workings of the tech, because when you look at how IPv8 is designed compared to IPv4 or IPv6, it's a totally new networking concept, whereas IPv4 and IPv6 actually shares a lot of ideologies in the behind. So as I said, it's more of an incremental improvement when you compare IPv4 to IPv6, but IPv8 is a much more new concept. It's totally designed to encapsulate the decentralized world that we're trying to build, and it's still in a concept phase. I mean, like, we still don't have a working IPv8 platform as far as I know. But I mean, the BitCherry team has been giving a lot of thought on future-proofing the project. So that's always a plus on my side, because as you know, tech moves faster as new tech is invented. So it's always better to think like 10 years, 20 years ahead when you're building a platform.
Okay, now, Emre, if you don't mind, yes, I'm going forward to the first question from our viewers from the YouTube channel. And the question is, we know that all this large amount of cryptocurrency in the market, and there is a shortage of liquidity in the currency, which has negatively affected to the price. The question is, do you plan to burn, do BitCherry plan to burn that currency aberrations or swap aberrations to the support of the price?
That's an interesting question. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know the agenda of the BitCherry team about whether making a coin burn or not. But if we just talk about the mechanics of reducing the supply, I'm not a fan of coin burns, because if you follow the crypto space, like last year, Stellar Lumens actually burned like half of their supply, and it only affected the price like 5%, and then it dropped down. So I mean, the crypto eco space, I mean, today the market cap is like how much, $370 billion. It's a very small market compared to what we have in the real world. I mean, the gold market is almost $10 trillion, and then the entire globe is producing like $800 trillion worth of goods and services every year. So crypto is this very, very small eco space. I mean, that's why having lots of supply in a coin shouldn't affect its future price. I mean, it's the main motivator of Bitcoin. People are investing in Bitcoin because the supply is fixed. It's not, you can't produce more Bitcoins than it was designed. But I mean, that's just a valid mechanism if you're trying to build a store of value. But when you're working on a platform like BitCherry or Ethereum or like any other decentralized smart contract platform, I think you need to have like a lot of supply to be able to support the real world use cases of these platforms that are aiming to solve.
Yes, for sure. Our next question is about DeFi, is about decentralized finance. All of us clearly see that this topic is overhyped. Now is on the top. Everyone tell that DeFi going to disrupt this blockchain industry as ICO's done on 2017. And the question is about that. DeFi is one of the hottest topics on the blockchain space. Yes, right now, we know about that. Can Dusk, maybe we're talking about some coin, Dusk share your opinions on DeFi with us? People wonder to know about our opinion about DeFi market, and do we think that DeFi will disrupt this existing financial system? What is unification approach towards the DeFi section? Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, that's also an interesting topic that I've been covering lately in my market. I was actually invited to BCHC University, which is a very reputable university in Istanbul. I gave a lecture there about how these DeFi protocols work and if they're like legitimate or not. The concept itself is very interesting. Having banking, capabilities without an intermediary is always beneficial for people, because when you remove the intermediaries, you create efficiency. In today's economy, more than 3 to 4% of GDP is being wasted on banking fees, transfer companies, monetary intermediaries. So imagine when you remove them, your country is going to be richer for 4% more. So it's an interesting concept. But what's happening right now in the DeFi eco space is just very scary to me, because first of all, these DeFi platforms claim that they're decentralized, but when they're initiated, they're not that decentralized, because someone is building that smart contract, someone is issuing those governance tokens, someone is actually doing the marketing for that DeFi platform. So the government isn't completely decentralized until people start using it. So we still don't have a 100% decentralized finance platform yet. So that's a concern for me, because what happens if the developers of those DeFi platforms decide to play dirty, or what happens if they're incompetent and create a very bad smart contract? It's going to be very vulnerable for attacks. And on top of that, as everybody's interested, these governance tokens of these DeFi platforms are appreciating like crazy. There was this year in finance project which just shot up 7,000% on a day. Then everybody just gets crazy and interested in that project. But the thing is, it's an extremely speculative movement, because people are abusing these DeFi platforms for a very short-term gain. And when this thing breaks down, it's going to be really catastrophic for the entire crypto space. That's what I'm mostly afraid of, because when you think about what's happening with DeFi right now, it's very resembling what happened back in 2008 in Wall Street and the mortgage crisis in the United States. The government enabled banks to be deregulated and create these marginal investment tools. So they came up with these CDOs, and they actually became really greedy and created these all kinds of stupid investment tools for the mortgage market. And then when that collapsed, we're still facing the troubles that was created back in 2008. The central bank in the United States, Fed, has been printing money like crazy ever since, and they've been doing even more after this COVID outbreak. and they still haven't managed to, cope up with the liquidity problem that the Wall Street mortgage prices, cause. So the same thing is happening with crypto right now in the DeFi platforms, because people are, abusing the system to, do yield farming. I mean, they put some Bitcoins, get some loans, put that loan back, get more loans. So, they're doing these leveraged, operations to gain short-term, profits. But when things go down, it's going to go, be a leveraged disaster, in my opinion.
Okay, good. Now we are going forward, and we have here with us Ilya Abramov. Unfortunately, he don't speak English very well as we, but has a question.
That's not a problem. I think you can translate the question.
No. It's not need for translation. It's already here in our chat. It's what he talks about. It's very interesting project, especially in terms of combining blockchain technology and with 6-degree social theory. I do not understand well what this means, and can you give more details?
I think there's also like an addition to the question.
And additions are also about identity authentication while maintaining confidentially. Is this really possible? And the last topic is about how will you increase, we're talking about BitCherry, capitalization of BCHC token? Can BCHC holders expect multiple profits? I'm talking about X's.
Okay, so this is a very broad question. I mean, it has a multiple questions. So let's go step by step. I mean, identity authentication and maintaining confidentiality, these are all possible with the new blockchain technologies. I mean, Bitcoin, people thought Bitcoin was anonymous when they first started using it, but actually Bitcoin is pseudonymous. Because once I know your wallet address, then I can track pretty much what you've done up until now. I can see all your transactions. I can see how many Bitcoins you have, and that's an invasion of privacy. That's why all the new projects are focusing on creating these, private chains, having privacy features. Even Litecoin's Charlie Lee decided to, turn Litecoin into like a private coin. So this is possible with today's blockchain tech, but we need a unified platform to make this work in a global scale. Because if a country decides to use, for example, Project A for this, identity authentication purposes, and then another country uses Project B for the same stuff, the A and B's blockchains are going to be different, so it's going to be very hard for them to communicate. So we need to come up with either a single platform for the entire world, or a way to have these blockchains communicate with each other, close out blocks without interfering with one another's operation. So the BitCherry is interesting in that way, because BitCherry isn't like a Bitcoin's blockchain. It's not a single straight, or resembles a matrix structure. So it's possible to either create these privacy features inside the platform itself, or have BitCherry's network communicate with other blockchains to increase efficiency and solve these problems. But that being said, these are all on paper right now, because we still haven't seen the mainnet. We still don't have a real proper use case. And that brings us to the second part of the question. I mean, how can you increase the capitalization of BitCherry? And there's two aspects to that. First, you need to create utility. People need to use this tech so it appreciates in value. I mean, Bitcoin is going up because everybody's buying Bitcoin. Everybody is creating wallets, creating exchanges. I mean, when more people use the tech, the price appreciates. And the second part to that is, how do you get more people to use the tech? And that comes to building a very strong community around BitCherry, or any other coin project that you're trying to make a success case out of. So that's why all the new platform projects like BitCherry is focusing on building strong communities globally, and BitCherry has been really active in that market. I mean, look at us. They have you in Russia, they have me in Turkey, they have people even in Africa. I mean, they have a vibrant community in pretty much most of the world right now, and that's important for a future success, because when you have a strong community, the community also enables people to get interested in this tech and check it out for themselves. I mean, it all comes to building good tech and then marketing it right. Because I mean, in today's crypto eco space, some people are building really cool tech, like such as like Cardano. I mean, it's cool tech, but those guys don't know marketing. I mean, that's why the price isn't appreciating. I mean, they're just focused on building their consensus mechanisms, doing this Shelley network. I mean, all geeky stuff. If you're a geek, you'd love it, but then the investors aren't interested because they're not marketing it. And then on the other end, you have these scam coins. I mean, they have zero tech, but they have like so many marketing budget and like doing lots of shilling across the globe. Their coin appreciates more than this, solid tech. So in all fairness, to increase the market capitalization of BitCherry, you need to combine the both. I mean, so these guys are actually doing that, and that was the first reason why I was interested in this in the first place, because they have a really vibrant community. They're eager to build these communities across the globe, and they also have some really promising tech. I mean, the white paper was interesting enough for me to go after this project. So I mean, when you're investing. Okay.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you, because our next question is going to continue from the previous one.
Cool.
For a long time now, we see that the price of the currency is almost fixed. And we also know that the currency is listed on the BitPay payment gateway. The question is, do BitCherry plan make BCHC token as a commercial currency, for example, to buy and sell products? I think it's the best way to utilize it, to use it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, like that's the first and most important utility for any token. But in order to achieve that, I mean, you need a lot more listings. I mean, right now, since BitCherry is a very new project, it's only like a year and a half old, and right now they're listed already in like a couple of the big exchanges like Poloniex. But they need to do more in order to get this accepted as a global currency. I mean, like when you're trying to send payments with crypto, most of the people either ask for Bitcoins or Ethereum or like Tether dollars, because like those are the most popular ones. So in order to get the same effect for BitCherry, you need to have lots more integrations with exchanges. You need to come up with some ways for vendors to accept BitCherry, maybe like a smart wallet. I mean, BitCherry has an app, but maybe they need to work more to get this utilized in storefronts. Just pretty much like Alipay. Like Alipay is very popular in both China and like Europe. They did a good job of marketing. So if the BitCherry team can come up with like a similar approach, then I mean it will immediately become like a medium of payment, and then that would help the price to appreciate faster.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to ask Vladimir Panimaevich to say something. Yes, Vladimir, I'm really happy to see you here. Turn on your mic and you are on air.
Yeah. So this is my next question about scalability. And now everybody want to create interchain transactions, and exist Cosmos network and Polkadot. They try to create Internet of blockchains. And I have a question. Do you want to be a part of Cosmos network ecosystem, or maybe create some parachain with Polkadot?
I want to mention that Vladimir is the community manager of biggest community on earth, Cosmos and Polkadot. That's why he's here. It's very interesting to see him here.
Oh, really? That's cool. Cosmos was the decentralized web platform, right? You guys have chat, you guys have browsing, all kinds of stuff.
It's something like when Ethereum create the smart contracts, and they create something like a standard ERC that we know, ERC20, ERC721, and they tell, if you want to create your tokens, just put this part to your code, and it will be connected to all other tokens. The Cosmos network creates something similar, but not with tokens, but with blockchains. And if you create blockchain, you add this Cosmos SDK part to your blockchain, and you can create a hub. Cosmos network is a hub for the other blockchains. So they have a great possibility to join new blockchains to the system. For example, Binance chain, also on the Cosmos SDK, and all Cosmos ecosystem now, it's more than 4 billion. And this is something like a future of the blockchains. It's IBC, inter-blockchain communication protocol, that give me possibility to send transaction from one blockchain to another blockchain. And this is like a good solution for scalability for every blockchain. And I want to know about your plans about integration to the big distributed web.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question as well, and it's also like an interesting case that we have on our hands with the crypto ecospace right now, because I mean, BitCherry isn't the only company, or like Cosmos isn't the only company that's trying to achieve this. There's like many other projects that are trying to grab Ethereum's market share, because as you know, Ethereum was the first, so they have the market dominance for utilization. I mean, like almost 90% of all tokens are utilized on the Ethereum network, and that's a problem because they're too big to fail. And at the same time, it's an old tech now, so we're seeing lots of scalability issues, security issues. I mean, the DeFi craze caused lots of increases in transfer costs. So we need to come up with a better solution. But the thing is, like dozens of companies are competing for the same thing, such as Cosmos or like Algorand in the United States, or like EOS in the Northern America, etc., and BitCherry. So, and all of them are actually capturing like some portion of the market in their region. I mean, like BitCherry, as far as I know, signed some memorandum of understanding with a couple of countries in Northern Africa. They also have some agreements with China. But like at the same time, as you said, Cosmos is also going after the same thing. So you guys are also doing great stuff in your region. So the best way to overcome the Ethereum problem today is to have these blockchains connect with each other. Because I mean, I can't come after your market. I mean, you've already covered lots of ground. You can't come in mine. So the best way is to collaborate with each other, have these blockchain networks speak with each other, and then we have this much more scalable and fast and cost-effective solutions where people can run their smart contracts.
Okay, guys, we have very huge activity in our YouTube channel. That's why I have to ask some question from their side. And Yaroslav Kožuchov, the question is, where is BitCherry headquarters and when will be the founder interview? Interesting to know more about Paul Bao. Do you have any information, Emre? I don't know yet. Maybe some kind of...
That's a question I can't answer. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think, in my opinion, now all the teams over the globe working decentralized, because I am in Moscow, you are in Turkey, all of us spread over this globe. That's why it's good way now to operate with. What I see, the next question is on Turkey language. I don't understand that. Please, Emre, help me with that. It's question number 4.
Number 4. Yeah. So
I can't read it. I'm sorry.
Daha önce hangi yatırımları desteklediniz? Bir projeyi desteklerken nereye dikkat edersiniz? So let me translate that for everybody. So which other projects or investments did you support in the past, and what do you look in a project when you're investing in it? That's the question. And I think we've already covered that question in some of the previous questions. As I said, when I'm looking at a new project, the first thing is, of course, reading the white paper, see what they're talking about, what problem they're trying to solve, and what solution they came up with. So, I mean, the white paper, the professionalism of the white paper also gives you a lot of idea about the team of that project. I mean, when I see some grammar errors or typos in a white paper, I immediately, give up on that project, because they didn't even put the time to, create a perfect white paper. So how are they going to create the perfect blockchain solution, right? And on top of that, I also look at their open source code base. I check out their GitHub, see how many pushes they do every day, if they're working on the tech or not. Because sometimes some projects come up really shiny in the early days, and then they just give up and stop building on it. So I mean, it becomes obsolete, and people who doesn't understand from code don't see this, and they still keep on investing in that project, which is like a dead investment in the long term. So I also check that. And finally, I also try to learn some information about the team, like who the founders are, what background they're coming from. Like Tron was successful because Justin's son came from Ripple, and like the same thing goes for Charlie Lee. I mean, the guy was working at Coinbase, and before that he was working at Google. So that reputation also helps the project to pick up faster than someone who nobody knows. And finally, as we mentioned before, community is also essential. I mean, like if they have a vibrant community, if people are actually excited about that project, if they're creating engagement around in the markets, like when there's a news around that, if they're sharing that, it creates more momentum to get that project successful. So I look at these kinds of things, and lately for the past year or so, I try to jump into projects from day one, because as you know, I mean, this is still a very speculative market, and even if you find the shittiest coin and go in the day one, you will make money, because even those guys are going to do some marketing, those guys are going to generate some volume, and then you're going to profit out of it. So BitCherry being a new project and moving really fast, I mean, they get listed in major exchanges really quickly. I think it's going to be like a good investment for the long term. And I feel like I came in the right time because it's still in its early days.
Emre, please. Yes, I'll give you the word a little bit later, Vladimir, because we have a lot of questions. I'm really sorry, but we have to ask on anything. Emre, go ahead from the next question. And I see that the next one is on Russian. I have to ask on that question as well.
Okay, so the fifth question is also in Turkish in YouTube. So BitCherry'nin DeFi proje geliştirmesi nedir? Mainnet'in yapılacağı tarih. So they're asking about if BitCherry will come up with a DeFi platform, if there's like the exact date for mainnet launch, and do they have like a advertising budget for promoting these? So as I said, what's going to happen with the latest DeFi craze still isn't very clear. So I wouldn't encourage BitCherry to go after a DeFi platform, because we still don't know if the world needs something like this or not. That being said, BitCherry is perfectly capable of running a DeFi platform with the tech it has right now. I mean, what Ethereum can do, BitCherry can do it better. So it's always possible to build DeFi protocols on top of BitCherry. About the mainnet launch, that's always going to take lots of time. I mean, like, check out Ethereum 2.0. I mean, like, they were planning to release it on August, but now they're saying that like it won't be ready until next year. So building software always creates latencies. I mean, if you've ever worked with developers, they never deliver on time. It's always complicated. And when you're working on something super complicated like blockchain, it's always going to have some delays. So it's hard to tell if the BitCherry team will be able to pull the mainnet launch to an earlier date. I'd say that they should take their time and release something that's has no bugs and flawless instead of rushing the mainnet. So I mean, we don't need to rush for something like that.
I really love your explanation. It's very good, yes, point of view. That's why people have to know that so much complicated things don't have to be happen in a moment. We have to wait for a while. And next question is on Russian. Кто-нибудь уже использовал когда-нибудь технологию IPv8? Просто вы так много за нее говорите, а по факту она была где-нибудь применена? Конечно же нет, конечно же сейчас мы только-только, она в разработке применяется и будет видно, но я переведу это на английский. The question is, does anyone already uses IPv8 technology? And my answer is yes, for sure, not yet, because it's the new one, it's the new construction. And the continue of the question is, because we are talking about the technology so many times, that's why they are eager to know, does anyone else use it or not nowadays? Maybe you have any kind of information, because I say no, unfortunately not. That's why we're under construction. We're going in that way.
It's still a conceptual idea. I mean, like the whole purpose of IPv8 is to future-proof the project. So, I mean, like right now, all the telecommunication companies are working on, building 5G, infrastructure, whereas we still don't have 5G phones. I mean, they can't turn it on because like we don't have the tech yet. So the same thing goes for IPv8 as well. I mean, they're preparing the infrastructure. When IPv8 launches, BitCherry would be able to support it. So they're future-proofing the project. So I also say that nobody's using it yet because there isn't something called IPv8 in the real world right now.
Emre, Alexei Vesnin, I want to give word to you now, because his architecture of the networks. He is very technical. He's professional of that way. That's why maybe he have the question concerning to that side. Alexei, your turn.
Yeah, I mean, that would make more sense.
Yeah, that would be great, because the professional, the technicals, when here is much more interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so actually a part of my questions has already been said. So let me compile it into one single one. Yes, DeFi platform and blockchain system, it's not unique. You're right, there is a Bitcoin case and Ethereum case, and that's not a problem of Ethereum. They simply was the first ones who invented the smart contract in the history. They brought them into existence and they stopped, and they're feeling themselves quite good. Bitcoin is the first one who invented the digital cash, and I mean the decentralized one, and it's quite fine just being itself. And it's not a problem that Ethereum, for example, takes a part of market. It's actually how it should be. If you create something unique, some not just value, not the capitalization, but unique feature, something new technology that people do need, they're starting to use it. So my question is, what's not about the capitalization and capabilities for our current DeFi-like stuff for your system? What's the unique features do you have? What value you're about to add to be future-proof as you speaking? So you can be like Ethereum or Bitcoin. What's the unique technology parts? Because the IPv8, just being named for being future-proof without any technological things, it's actually not telling a part of thing, because you need to put something into this. IPv8 is just a name. What's the technological features?
Let me say this: the new and cool features are going to be built by other developers who are going to build on BitCherry network. I mean, the whole purpose of the BitCherry's development team is to create the infrastructure so people can build really interesting and cool stuff on the network. I mean, these DeFi platforms that we've been talking about, the Ethereum development team isn't building them. They're just building the infrastructure for people to build those DeFi platforms. And since BitCherry is a latest generation blockchain tech, it offers like a vast scalability and security solutions. So it's always easier for developers to build better things on the BitCherry network. I mean, like if we try to give an example, like imagine having like a double-sided road versus like a highway, like an 8-lane highway. So Ethereum is like an old road versus BitCherry is going to be like a really big highway. And it just depends on what the developers are going to build on top of that. I mean, you can either build a Lamborghini or a Lada. So it's always depends on like what people are going to come up with when you have the infrastructure.
Emre, I wonder to know, because I see on your videos before that you are talking about that BitCherry platform as blockchain platform now achieved at least 100,000 transactions per second. How did it can be happen? Because it's blockchain. For me, it's very interesting.
Yeah. So the concept itself is really easy, simple, to be honest, because the first generation blockchain, platforms like Bitcoin or Ethereum run a single line of block, chain. So you need to wait for the previous, block to be closed in order to move forward, and that causes like a choking point. That's why the transaction per second numbers are super low. Where BitCherry enables you to run like multiple blockchains at the same time. So it's like having just one lane versus like 8 lanes or like 1,000 lanes. And then on top of that, you can also build like cross communicating chains. So it's more like a matrix structure compared to like a straightforward line. So that's why the BitCherry is capable of doing as fast as 100,000 transactions per second.
Actually, I wanted to hear Vladimir Panimashi because he has some suggestion for us, maybe for BitCherry company, because we are trying to make this world much more easier and much more very fast as well. Yeah, Vladimir.
Yeah, I want to ask what questions are you facing now, and what you need to solve them? Do you have any problems or any interest in, what you need now to make your project better? What you don't have to realize your ideas better?
I think the biggest lack, or the biggest missing point in BitCherry's picture right now is some real use cases. Because I mean, what made Ethereum really popular was the ability to build tokenized assets on top of that. And then BitMEX just decided to build the first stable coin on top of Ethereum, and that created the biggest use case for the Ethereum. So right now, billions of dollars is being transferred globally using USDT, and that's also making Ethereum really valuable. Same thing goes for Tron. I mean, USDT also jumped into the Tron network, and now Tron's volumes are going up really crazy because Ethereum transaction costs are really high, so people are jumping into Tron. BitCherry needs something like that to move faster in the eco space. Like if they can convince a stable coin to build on top of BitCherry, or like have a really big exchange, have their own native token issued on the BitCherry platform, they need a real use case for people to actually come and use the tech, and that's the only thing we're missing in the picture right now.
Emre, unfortunately, yes, the name of USDC is already taken because it can be USD cherry coin, but unfortunately, yes, we can sort out somewhat another way. Vladimir, yes, your turn.
Yeah, maybe you want to organize hackathon or something like this, that people collect together and try to find some use case, and you make some prize for them, some rewards for good ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's always a great idea. But I think the BitCherry team is waiting for the mainnet launch to host an event like that, because right now there isn't a platform where people can build or work over a hackathon. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I still think that BitCherry is also an ERC20 token right now. I mean, as you know, these coin projects start out as a token in another blockchain to raise money and create the operation going on for the developers and everything. And then when everything is in place, they launch their mainnet, and then it's possible to build on top of the real tech. So I think we're still waiting that, but I'm pretty sure after that's launched, the BitCherry team will host lots of hackathons or other cool events, because they have a very, very vibrant community globally.
Sure, yes. I have to go on the YouTube channel. That's why I'm going to see what's going on there. And I see that the Arabic community welcomes us, say hello to them as well. And the question is, what are the difference between BitCherry 2020 and 2021? I think the question is about, do we have any roadmap or any plan? What to do forward, what to do ahead?
I mean, it's all available on the website. The roadmap, you can check out the roadmap and the status of the progress on the roadmap going on the BitCherry's homepage. Or if you want to just have a faster way of learning what's happening with the project, you can always join your local community. I mean, they have Telegram groups of BitCherry pretty much for all languages. You can go out there and then talk with the community managers. Have some AMAs with other members of the team, see what they're working at. So as far as I know, there isn't a difference between the goals for 2020 and 2021. I mean, the BitCherry's roadmap has been very clear since the beginning, and then I mean, there's no need to make an update on it. They're actually moving forward on the initial roadmap already.
You know, Emre, Turkish community has been very active. I'm really happy for that. Maybe you are going to do that from your side. It's very good, appreciated. We see at least 3 questions on Turkish. Please choose one and ask on that, because we have to say hello to Turkish community and ask on question from their side as well.
Yeah, so there's this question that was repeated a couple of times. Ömer Kılıç, buradan selamlar sana. Sorun için çok teşekkürler. So what he's asking is, Endonezya, Kongo, Tunus ile anlaşma imzalamışlar. Hong Kong Blok Zincir Komisyonu ile anlaşma imzalamışlar. Şu an anlaşma için görüştüğü başka ülke var mı? Türkiye'de anlaşma yapmayı düşünüyorlar mı? So what he's asking is that BitCherry already has signed some agreements with the countries like Indonesia, Congo, Tunisia. They also signed an agreement with lately with the blockchain consortium of Hong Kong. So he's asking if there's any other countries that BitCherry is talking with, or if they have planned to have an agreement in Turkey as well. So as for Turkey, there isn't still an official process going on. I know that for sure. But BitCherry has been really active in the Turkish market. They pretty much attend all the conferences and blockchain events here in Turkey. I'm pretty sure they're going to break ground with at least one government body to talk about, utilizing the tech here. And other than that, I think they're also working with a couple of Northern African countries to sign some agreements to have their infrastructure blockchain needs solved with BitCherry's technology.
Emre, we have a little bit uncomfortable question, because when we collected Ethereum addresses or BCH token addresses here for the BIM participate, people has to eager to know why not yet been launched blockchain based on the BitCherry protocol, and we using yet Ethereum. We're using yet Ethereum because token now based on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we briefly mentioned the reason why, but like when you think about it, that's pretty much the building steps of all blockchain projects. I mean, Binance's own token BNB was also launched on ERC20. I mean, like,
you're completely right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
EOS was an ERC20 token. Tron was an ERC20 token. I mean, like they just recently came up with their own blockchain. So the thing here is that you have this cool idea. You have these developers trying to build something new, but you don't have any money. So instead of waiting for that blockchain to be built, you just go and create your tokens on an already built platform like Ethereum, because it only takes like 20 lines of code to build an ERC20 token. So you write your white paper, build the token, do your ICO or IEO, or raise your money from the VCs. And then once you have the money, then you can run an entire operation, like bring in more developers, bring in community managers, and then move way more faster. And after that, launching the mainnet makes more sense, because this process saves you a lot of time. It's much more efficient than waiting for the real blockchain to be developed.
Yeah, we have to summarize our MS session for now, and we just let the people here on this room ask the last question for us. Alexei, from your side, not so big question, just a little bit as summarizing of this event.
Okay. So the problem is, when I asked it 2 times, what's the technical specifications of the BitCherry technologies? Yes, in the white paper in your website, you're speaking about the 100,000 TPS, etc. But transactions per second, yes, it's an important metric, but it's not the key metric that determines and defines the technology. It doesn't describe it. So you're speaking about the scalability, how mathematically speaking, it will be more scalable, not just on white paper, but mathematically, like the structure, what's the structure, the details. You have a lot of information, right? But zero details even about the draft of technology. That's what I'm asking. What's the technological value? I mean, the mathematical, logical, structural, but precise. value. Not just mention it, specify.
Okay. You know, Emre, what I see, a lot of question coming from the community is about how do they can achieve the deeper into technology. They want to see the core. They want to see how it's happened, how it works. In really, in my opinion, it's my point of view. Maybe you have to add something.
Yeah, I mean, I might not be the right person to talk about this because I'm also not that technical.
Yeah, I know about that, but
I'm not a cryptology, expert, so I don't know what kind of algorithm the BitCherry team is working on to, enable these fast transactions per second, or like what they thought about, solving the scalability issue, because there isn't a single solution. There isn't a single right solution to do this. I mean, like all teams come up with like different, validation, different proof mechanisms, and we still don't know which one is better than the other one because this is all experimental tech. I mean, crypto is just like a 10-year blockchain is a 10-year-old tech. Smart contracts is like 5 to 6 years old. So we're still experimenting with this concept. So it can evolve into something much more different in a couple of years, or it might fail altogether. But right now, I mean, I think it's too early to tell which methodology is better than the other. I mean, we just need to see like the real life use cases and then judge the tech according to that. Because when you look at Ethereum, I mean, it's brilliant on paper, but now it's the biggest, decentralized platform, and then we're seeing a ton of issues. I mean, there's scalability issues, there are security issues, there's inefficiencies. They're trying to move into like a proof of stake mechanism, and then like they just screwed up with the transaction fees. Like last week, I paid $20 to send $20 to a friend. I mean, what point does that make? But when you look at Ethereum's, mathematical logic and everything, it looks solid on white paper. But now in the real world, I mean, it doesn't work because they didn't anticipate this much traffic on their platform. So that's why, I mean, I don't know anything about BitCherry's, inner workings, but the best way to judge if they're building something valuable or not to wait for the mainnet and see if it delivers on its promises.
Okay, good. Emre, what I see in articles just a few days ago, I see the mention about 5G technology and somehow BitCherry project connected to that. Just please explain for all the audience, because I clearly do not deeply understand what the 5G technology is about and how BitCherry protocol, how everything is this combined can works together, how it's happened, and where is the cutting edge technology.
Yeah, I mean that's also something I don't know anything about because I'm not a technical guy. I honestly I didn't read that article, so maybe I can elaborate on it after I read.
I see. Thank you, Vladimir. Maybe you have to add something because we have to finish it. For now, time is over. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like there's another question from the Turkish audience. Maybe we can.
Yeah. Just go ahead.
Yeah, it's actually about Russia, so maybe you can answer it. So Ramazan bilir. Bu arada sana da selamlar Ramazan. He's asking if BitCherry has any agreements or talks with any body in Russia.
Actually, I can say by my side, maybe yes, from my questions or from my point of view, yeah, BitCherry companies try to achieve Russian community here. You see the people from there are community opinion leaders, and now we're trying to go deeply on that platform. It's very exciting for us to see that everything is happening on IPv8 technology based on at least 100,000 transactions per second. It's new kind of blockchain going to be spread over the world. That's why for us it's very interesting, and we going to see how exactly it works. For Russian people, they are mathematicians. They are much more logic. That's why we're going deeply on that side. Sorry for the question, but we have to know how it exactly works. That's why it's very interesting for us as well. Yes, you're completely right. I am trying to engage in this project, the Russian community, because I'm keeping a leader in this space. I'm speaking English as well, but Russian for me is my native. Vladimir, just tell us.
Yeah, also my question will be also about communities. How many different communities you already have? Do you have only Turkish-speaking community, or you have English-speaking community, or maybe you have communities with other native languages? And
Wow.
what you do to create an interplanetary community around your project?
So yeah, I mean, BitCherry has a community in Turkey. They have a global community in English, and then they also have some other remote communities. Like they just, they're just building a massive community in Russia, thanks to Sergey, and they have one in Philippines. That one's really active. They have a couple in China and South Korea. So I mean, they already have like 10 local communities right now, and they're just still onboarding new community managers, new influencers, new thought leaders from other parts of the world to expand this effort.
Yeah, what I see in BitCherry, there is so much communities there. In my opinion, at least 20. I see various language there. That's why it's not very teeny. It's very various. That's why Vladimir, for you, is the best way to communicate people, any kind or any race on this globe. Really engage all of them. Guys, I'm really happy to be with you here. Emre, thank you for your time. Thank you, BitCherry, for organizing this MS session for our viewers, for our guests, for our leaders, for the community as well. I think we have already very interesting time, and all these questions are going to be recorded, going to be asked. And I think that we have to go forward. We have to cutting-edge technologies. We have to spread good for the communities, for the earth, because we are going the best way to make blockchain industry finally happen over the globe.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure being here in the AMA. And I also like to thank our other friends who joined us in the Zoom call. So yeah, this will be available as a recording on BitCherry's YouTube channel. But if you guys still have any questions, you can join our local communities or the global BitCherry community. You can still ask your questions there. It doesn't need to be here in the video, but like you will be answered no matter what. So don't forget to check out our communities as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot to all of you. We're going to finish now. I want to say goodbye to you. See you later.
Yeah. Bye guys.